Relationship advice. 5 days since I served my soon-to-be ex-wife, 30 female, of 7 years, now everyone is piling on me to talk to her. I have made a decision to go no contact after serving my wife 5 days ago. I am refusing to see or talk to her, and everyone is piling on me to talk to her. It's driving me nutty, messages and calls 24/7. What can I say to these people to get them to back off without being rude? These are my friends and family, people I want to remain in contact with after the divorce is finalized. Some background: we dated from the age of 20 and married when she became pregnant with our son. Our marriage was great. We got another kid, a daughter, 2 years after the first and have had excellent intimacy, good communication, good finances. We owned our house. We had a cat. Kids are well balanced and doing well. We were happy, or so I thought. Then about 4 months ago, my wife, let's call her Sue, came home from work gushing about this new manager they got. Let's call him Frank. I felt uneasy right away, like something was off. I smiled and asked a few questions, like if he was married, did he have kids, where did he live, etc. She tells me he is on his second marriage and have 4 kids in total. I was thinking this was probably a crush. I have had those, but they usually pass. So I decided to just wait, it would probably just go away. Over the next week this would happen every day, and I got more and more uneasy. I decided I need to see if something more was going on, so I told Sue that I got a virus alert on the home network, and that I needed to update the virus software on her pad, her mobile and her laptop. She has no skills in it whatsoever. She gave me her equipment and I installed remote monitoring software and keylogging from the best online service I could find. Best $20 a month subscription I ever got. A few days later I saw the first text messages going back and forth between them. They were pretty innocent. Mostly work-related. Still the frequency escalates a little over the next 4 to 6 weeks and gets more personal. I do a soft confrontation with my wife. She comes home from work and I stare at her intensely. Sue, what is wrong? Me, have you crashed the car or something? Sue, what? No. Me, you look like you have done something wrong and you are trying to hide it? Sue, no. I am not. What are you talking about? Me, you look guilty of something? Are you lying to me? Is there something you need to tell me? Sue, no, I just had a long day at work, blah blah. The next few days there was fewer messages between them, but they are quickly back at it in full force. The messages start to get flirty. I softly confront her again. Again, she lies to my face. I decide this will probably end badly at around the 2-month mark, and I decide to prepare for the worst. I also start to prepare myself emotionally. Over the next 2 months their exchanges evolve into a full-blown emotional affair, and it's getting more and more sexual. I confront my wife repeatedly. I don't present any evidence. She keeps lying. I am not going to force her to stop. After all, she is a grown woman and she makes her own choices. She lies to my face again and again. I feel a gigantic rift opening up between us. Intimacy also stops. I find I am checking out of the marriage in parallel with their activities. I am devastated, but working out a lot and steeling myself for the reality that the only likely outcome at this point is divorce. I get a lawyer, I prepare the paperwork and I even hire a guy to be on standby to serve her, if and when I decide to pull the cord. Then I see the first messages where they plan to meet up. I am actually relieved, since I can finally decide to end it. Just watching this train wreck unfold is agonizing. I rent a room on the same floor on the day they are planning to meet up and I get my guy ready to serve her in the hotel. D-Day arrives, she lies and tells me she has to work overtime. I drive to the hotel and wait for her to arrive. Me and the guy I hired to serve her go up about 10 minutes after she gets into the elevator and we go up to her floor. The elevator needed a keycard. It is the only reason I rented a room. We go to the door, I hear moaning, so they are already at it. I hide around the corner and he bangs loudly on the door. They go quiet. Frank, what is it? Serving guy, I have an urgent delivery for Sue. Sue, what is it? Serving guy, I don't know ma'am, I have just been told it's urgent, it has to be delivered to you right now. And after some more back and forth, the wife finally opens the door in a robe. Serving guy, Sue, last name? Wife, yes. She gets the envelope and I pop out to sign the form. My wife sees me and just goes white. I sign the papers I need to sign and walk over to her. She doesn't move. I don't know what is going on with her. She looks confused to say the least. Like what she is seeing doesn't compute. I had prepared for this moment. I look into the room. Me, hey Frank, show yourself, I know you are in there. He looks around the corner and is obviously scared. Did you enjoy my wife, Frank? Or is it the lying to your own wife that gets you off? Or is it having several mistresses at once, Frank? Is it lying to and cheating on everyone? Is that it? Frank, silence. Then I look at my wife. Me, so you didn't really think you were the only side chick this guy had, did you? You are one of 3 as far as I know. I just made this up. I have no idea if he has other mistresses than my wife. I just needed to be mean and ruin what they had going on. Me, Sue. Listen to me, you are single now, so don't let me disturb you anymore. You can go back to continue your activities. Then I stormed off. I started crying, but I wasn't going to let them see that, so I ran down the stairs instead of waiting for the elevator. On my way, I heard this primal scream from my wife that was unlike anything I had ever heard before. I took a lot of solace in that scream the last few days. I got in my car and ugly cried for hours. Now I am mostly over it. I am glad it's done. I can move on. I feel liberated actually. I told the kids, they are staying with my parents for now. I even started to flirt with a work colleague and I have got on Tinder. I am chatting with a few women and it's a great boost for my ego. I am not looking for anything physical or serious. I will probably never trust anyone enough to have long-term relationship again anyway. I haven't talked to my wife since. She floods me with messages that I just ignore. But everyone is calling me and trying to guilt trip me / pressure me into talking to her. I have also been thinking about telling Frank's wife. If I was her, I would want to know, and I don't think Frank will all of a sudden develop a spine and own up. Now for the top comments. Might also want to contact their company HR. Companies usually don't encourage managers to have romantic relationships with subordinates, due to possible legal ramifications and optics. Sometimes HR policy requires individuals to self-report and get the all clear. May want to inform the HR person and forward your text messages. Oh, awesome idea. I will do this. Best to inform corporate HR at their head office. Just call the corporate hotline and get redirected and obtain an email. Just in case the local HR is a friend of theirs. All the best, mate. Hope the recovery is smooth. Take care of your kids. Just ask your friends what you should talk to your wife about. Be hard and direct. They need to understand that this is not something that can be repaired. So ask them the uncomfortable questions. Stuff like, do you really think that I want to hear from her, how her action was with Frank? You really want that I ask my wife why she gave up on me and the kids? Would you like me to ask her if she used protection, or if she didn't even care about my health? If they answer no, then ask them why you should talk to her. You talked to her plenty of times before, and each time she decided to lie and not talk to you. Why should you be the one now that needs to talk? That train has left the station when your soon-to-be ex-wife decided that her affair is more important to her than her kids, her marriage and you. Stay on the path that you are on, and take care that you only do what is best for you. No one of your friends and family has to live with the decisions you make now, so kindly ask them to respect your decision. If you want, tell them that you wish that it would be different, but that decision wasn't yours to make. Your soon-to-be ex-wife made that decision. She knew the consequences before she did it. If it ever came to light and still decided to go through with it, that is on her. Never set yourself on fire to keep others warm. It isn't your problem that your wife wasn't able to see what a wonderful person you are. I really like this suggestion. I like this angle. Please tell Frank's wife, I was Frank's wife in my divorce. Completely in the dark until the other cheated on spouse forced my ex to tell me. I'm forever grateful to that woman. Yes, I feel guilty not telling her yet. Edit, I have decided to tell the wife. I have called her and told her the key facts. She didn't believe me outright, so I am meeting her at a coffee shop within the hour. I have also started to ask the people that call me to ask her why I'm not talking to her. It seems to slow down the barrage. Now for the last story. My 28 female stepsister, 29 female, slept with my ex-fiancé, 37 male, and married him. It's been 5 years and my family think I should be over it already. I changed some minor details for the sake of remaining anonymous. Also, sorry this is so long. Once I started writing I found it cathartic and couldn't stop word vomiting all over the post. When I was 23, now 28, I was engaged to Ryan, was 32, now 37. Our engagement ended when my stepsister Kelly was 24, now 29, begged me to leave him because they loved each other. But Ryan was too afraid to break up with me because he didn't want to hurt me / my family. When I confronted Ryan about it, he denied it, said she had been trying to come on to him for some time and he never mentioned it because he didn't want to ruin our relationship. He begged me not to believe her and so we continued how we were. Kelly grew resentful and made nasty comments about how I was forcing a man who didn't even love me to marry me, because I had low self-esteem constantly. A month later, she sent me a video of them doing it in my bed, and multiple screenshots of him telling her he loved her, how he wished she was the girl he was marrying, how he hated that I wouldn't let them be together. I was devastated and angry, but my best friend convinced me not to go nuclear on them and instead to quietly move out when Ryan was at work the next week. So that's what I did. I contacted my dad and my stepmom and asked them if I could move in temporarily. I removed the money I had contributed into our joint account for wedding expenses, and transferred the rest to him before closing the account. Once I got settled in, I sent all of the screenshots she sent me to all of our relatives and his. Ryan tried to get back together with me multiple times, but I ended up blocking him when I found out he had proposed to her with the same ring he gave me. I left it behind. Now Kelly is my stepsister from my mom's side. I have another stepsister, 36, and stepbrother, 38, from my mom's second marriage and a half-sister, 26. They all went to the wedding. Whenever I tried to express, I was hurt by the fact they were just supporting Kelly / Ryan, as though what they did to me meant nothing. They would shrug it off, and say they couldn't cut them out completely because they were family. I haven't spent a single holiday with my mom's side since, neither has my older biological brother or sister. I only see my mom and half-sister when I invite them over to my place as Kelly / Ryan moved in with my mom and my stepdad, a year after they got married. Our relationship is very rocky, but I've grown closer to my dad / stepmom and their children, an older stepbrother and 2 younger half-siblings, who have all been very supportive since this all happened, so it's not all been bad. On New Year's Day, my boyfriend, now husband, proposed to me. We had a small engagement party, which I invited my mom and half-sister to. They never turned up because I was excluding half of our family. I never invited my stepdad or step-siblings because they were pretty hurtful when it came out that Kelly / Ryan were sleeping together. They claimed it wasn't their fault I got in the way of true love, and made me out to be some sort of vindictive Disney villain for being angry with them. We were planning to have our wedding ceremony this summer, but in late February my husband suggested we postponed until next year, because he was concerned COVID would get worse and we would have to cancel / reschedule anyway. I ended up finding out I was pregnant a month before our original wedding date, so we had a courthouse wedding on that date with the plan to hold the ceremony next year. Only my dad's side of the family were aware of both the pregnancy and the wedding. My stepmom likes to knit, so she's been making some stuff for the baby. Recently, she posted about the things she had made on Facebook, with a caption talking about how excited she was to have another grandchild soon. I was tagged in the post. I have zero issues with the post. I never told my family I wasn't going to inform my mom's side. It wasn't that I intentionally hid it from her, she just never seemed very interested in my life / relationship, so I never brought it up. My mom called me an hour later to demand to know if I was pregnant, and how she couldn't believe I hadn't told her she was finally going to be a grandmother. She has since invited me and my husband over to her house multiple times. I've declined every single time for the obvious reason. My stepdad, who I've barely spoken to in 5 years, has reached out to tell me how excited he is to meet the baby and my husband, same with my siblings. Even Kelly reached out to my husband to congratulate us. I was furious. The next time my mom and stepdad called me, I finally laid into them. I told them I didn't want them to keep inviting me over when they knew I would be forced to see Kelly / Ryan if I came. I told them how hurt and angry I still am over what they did to me, and how my family dismissed my feelings. I told them how they wouldn't throw Kelly / Ryan away, but they were so quick to leave me out to rot whilst I was going through the worst betrayal I'd ever experienced in my life. I told them I wasn't even sure I wanted people like them in my child's life. My mom was crying hysterically and kept saying I was being cruel, and I couldn't deprive her of her first grandchild. The thing is, my baby isn't her first grandchild. My sister has 2 adopted daughters already who my mom doesn't even try to bond with. She kept wailing about how I might be the only person in our family to even give her grandchildren. My stepsisters are both having a hard time getting / staying pregnant, and my half-sister has proclaimed herself to be child-free. My stepdad got angry and defensive. He claimed I was petty for holding on to something that happened 5 years ago. He pointed out how I had found someone else, so I should understand how love works, and sometimes 2 people just can't help themselves. You love who you love, basically. He said Kelly / Ryan were happy together, so I should be happy for them the way they're happy for me and my husband. The ironic thing is, my sister told me Kelly/Ryan looked like they were on the verge of divorce and they argue constantly. My mom complains to her about them, and how my siblings all hate him, but pretend they like him for Kelly's sake. I ended up hanging up because I was so angry, and when I get angry, I start crying. I didn't want them to think they got to me. Since, I've been receiving texts and calls non-stop from my mom's family. They're all essentially telling me I should be over things already. It's gotten to the point me and my husband have switched phones so he can screen my messages for me, and I don't have to read them. Now for the top comments. 5 years ago, they didn't choose you, now you don't choose them. Simple. Since, I've been receiving texts and calls non-stop from my mom's family. They're all essentially telling me I should be over things already. It's gotten to the point me and my husband have switched phones so he can screen my messages for me, and I don't have to read them. Block them all. Just out of curiosity, did your mom and stepdad had an affair? I'm asking because of how close in age you and your half-sister are, and the way your stepdad seems to be justifying what Kelly/Ryan did. It could explain why they don't think what they did is such a big deal, because they did it too. I'm pretty sure they did, but my mom denies it whenever we've asked. So pathetic that all their wailing is about what you are doing to them, and no apologies or even acknowledgement about what they all did to you. Sounds like you're always the one who has to accommodate others. That's a great point. Like Hope said, you don't want your child around these people. Screw them. Also, can I give you a virtual hug? And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.